Hi everyone, welcome back. I am going to show you how to, excuse me and excuse the coughing, put this Spellbinders large die of the month, October 22, together. So I may stop halfway and actually do this as a voiceover later on because my throat is playing up today, but hopefully we'll get through showing you the basics of that, and then the display bit, the decorative bit, I may, fast forward through that. I'm also going to use the small die of the month, which is the outline Christmas sentiments, and just for the sentiment, because I thought I'm going to use this as a display. Excuse me. Our Christmas decorations are up. Yes, I know. It's a little early. It's actually only the 5th of November today. But we love it. So, so for this, there are a lot of parts and pieces. So I'm going to try to explain all that. So for the sentiment, I just used the word Christmas. And what I did was the outline. I've die cut. There are a lot of pieces, like I say. I've die cut this sort of minty colour cardstock, and I've actually die cut it 5 times so that I can stack them and create like almost like a piece of chipboard on the front, just so that it just says something Christmassy. I then die cut the main word here out of some pale pink, and that is just gonna sit on the like shadow back. Then I have a whole load of the foliage. There's a whole bunch of these. I have 4 of those, and this is you can cut 2 out at the same time, so I've got 4 of those. I then have 4 of these in the pink, which is this little die here. I have 4 poinsettias, again in the pale pink, and I just found colours that I thought worked together. I love this sort of minty green and red together at Christmas, so I just alternated the the foliage and that, just so it wasn't the same colour, so it gave some contrast. And then the holly leaves will cut out twice, so I've got 8 of them. Just pop them off to the side. Then I have 2 of this piece, which is this here. Now this is actually in 2 pieces, so excuse me, you could have just the outline shape, or you can add in the decorative section, which is what I did there. So I have 2 of those, and you'll need 2 of them. I also then have 2 of these pieces here, which you'll see how that comes together, but it basically helps to stabilize the whole thing. Then you even get the string, which is this die here, that will cut out the thin little string so it can hang, your bauble can hang, as well as the the topper. I did them in silver just because I thought that would work nicely. Over here are all these little berries. It cuts 6 of them out at a time, so I cut them out twice in red and once in silver. So, and I will probably speed through that bit for you. I just want to show you how to get the thing together. So then we have the bauble itself. Now that's made up of a few layers. So to start with, you would cut the main piece. There's stuff on there. Which is just, oh, you can't see that, sorry. Which is this main outline. The main outline here. Then to get the decorative bit on the middle, so it looks like that, you use the outline again, but you use this centerpiece here. And Spellbinders do a great video on how to line that up, but basically you would line the center here with the center of this bauble here, and that's kind of how you would get it lined up. But sky's the limit, you could turn that any way you like. And the idea with this is that you could stitch that. I'm not going to stitch it today to save time and all that, but and I don't even know if I've got thread, but you can create a beautiful pattern stitching that for a stitched bauble. But I thought just having the red cardstock behind it, like so, just looks really pretty. Excuse me. And then we have this piece up here, which looks kind of funny, but it's this shape. And so you cut those out twice, and what that will do is add more decoration to your ball, like so. And I thought the sparkly silver would look nice, so it's going to look very pretty. And then you'll have one at the bottom as well, like so, and that will create your whole bauble, oh, plus your little topper. But we'll put that together in a minute. Then for the main display, try not to lose me berries. You need a piece of cardstock. It measures 7 by 5, and you can emboss this, or create your own background or whatever you want to do, but I've left it plain for now because I don't actually have an embossing folder big enough. Spellbinders do. They have, their embossing folders are huge, so you can for sure emboss this size, but most standard ones are not going to be that size. So that's just free cut, it's not a die. And then you need 4 of these pieces, which are the main mechanism. So to start with, you have this main piece here, this big one, and that will cut that out flat. And then to get this little moon shape here, you use this die and you line up this edge and this edge with the edge, see if I can get close enough, with the edge, but up to that first score line. There's 2 score lines on each side, so you line up this part of it right to that score line. And then these 2 sections here have got no die cut, or no line to die cut. There's no blade, if you like. Only the swoop does. And then that, once you've lined that up and you run it through, it creates this curve. And like I say, there are some score lines here which I'm going to reinforce to put it together, because it just makes sense to me. I think that's all the die cutting. I'm going to use this as a guide because I've not put this thing together before. So that's just off to the side, and you do get good instruction here. So to start with, I'm going to reinforce my score lines, I think. Just find a scorer. I'm just going to fold each one over and reinforce them. Same goes on this side. So yeah, this will be a longer video today, so hopefully you'll stick with me. So you're going to do that 4 times, so all 4 of these pieces. So just get the next one going. And they fold really quite easy. This is quite thick cardstock. I'm using Concord and 9th cardstock today. But it's still, even though it's quite a thick cardstock, it's still folding really quite easy. It's that one. And it goes pretty quickly as well. Oh no, I need that side. Not that quickly, but you know. Last one. Ta-da. Ta-da, ta-da. So you're going to have, like I say, 4 of these, like so. Like so. Now what you need to do is put 2 of them together. 2 will be for the top, 2 will be for the bottom. So I'm going to grab some strong tape. That probably makes the most sense. No, I'm going to use glue. Let's use glue. It's the worst that can happen. No, let's use tape. So I am going to just use some, excuse me, some, can't think. Oh guys, help me out. Lawn fawn, that's the word. Some lawn fawn tape. And I'm going to pop this on these tabs. Like so. Oops. Right. So 2 of them are going to you want to sit these like that. So where the bend is, it's going to go on what will be the front. If that makes sense. So this piece is going to line up with this score line. So I would fold them back and then just line them up like so, and then do the same on this side. Make sure I'm doing this right. And it feels a little awkward, but it'll be fine. Fold it underneath like that, and then oops, and then hey presto, you have one done and put together. So we'll do the same on this one. So just taking one of these guys off, and this is quite easy to do. It just looks a little finagly. So you're going to fold the front piece over and then fold where your sticky is on that flap and line those 2 sections up. Like so. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So the sticky flap over, fold where the front would be and line them up. And this is the bit where it feels a bit weird because you feel like you're folding it against itself, because it sort of looks like that when you're folding it, but when it pops up, it's perfect. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da-da. Right, so this is essentially your top and your bottom. Can you see how it's going to start to come together? Yay! So now we want to, so now you want your 5x7 piece. Just checking I'm reading the instructions as well. And we're going to stick these two tabs where the white tape is to the edge of the top edge and the bottom edge. So again, we're just going to take this off. For this, I would line up your top corner like so, and that will pop itself up. And then again on this side, just hold it. It's going to feel a bit weird. Line up with your top corner and down the side, and there it is, popped up and in place. And that will be, say, your bottom bit, right, or your top bit. Depends how you're looking at it. So I'm going to start again on this side, and actually this is going together easier than I thought it might. So where your sticky is, fold that flap down, and that's going to line up in this corner. Hopefully that made sense when I was doing it the first time. Like so. And then again you're going to get the tab off your sticky. I'm just going to turn this. Fold the flap with the sticky and press it into the corner of your card. And there's the beginnings of what will be your display. Now, I'm just going to pop that to one side. We now need to work on these. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive just because that's easier. Providing it works. We know what issues I have with this. And these little rounded edges will fit against this piece here. That's actually what's going to fit into the box. So on the back of these, I'm just going to put a thin amount of glue. And then we're going to line up the little curves with each other. And that you'll see, it's quite easy to see that they line up nicely sort of against each other. Like so. Do the same with this one. Some very thin areas. And again, just lining up those two sort of half circle shapes. And because you've got wet adhesive, you've probably got a couple seconds just to move it into place properly. Couple glue boogers, but we can sort those out later. And then there's your two side panels. So I'm going to leave those just for a second, just so that they can dry properly before we put them into the main display. So I thought I would work on this one. So this is going to go together just as easy. Just some adhesive all the way around. All this sort of spare space. Just chuck some adhesive on there. I don't know what that was. Nice. And this will go onto your red piece. Your red bauble. And again, because you've got wet adhesive, you can just maneuver that enough to get it to line up. If it's not quite lined up, if you know what I mean. So getting that on there. And there are excuse me, there are embossed lines there. So if I thought about it at the time, which I didn't, because all this die cutting took me a little bit of time to do, I could have used a tan mat and actually really accentuated. No, is that the word? You know what I mean? Made the embossed detail more defined. But really, that's where your lines for the, can't think of the word, the stitches would go. So just getting these guys on, and I think my camera's gonna conk out on me, so apologies in advance. Right, that's way too much. So these will then go in place. I'll just turn this upside down so you can see it a little better. They just line up nicely with the shape of the bauble. And then this center bit, they're just going to overlap. And because there's so much glitter coming off of this particular glitter cardstock, it's going everywhere. So my non-glittery ball might be glittery. I'm just using dabs of glue just so you don't get too much you know, excess when you squeeze it out, and when you go to put it on the front. So this one again, I'm just turning this upside down, just lines up perfectly. With the edge there. This section, like I say, just overlaps really well. I need a little extra glue there, but that's fine. Yeah, I'll definitely need extra. That's fine. It's not quite sticking. And there's your bauble. Oh no, I haven't done the top, have I? No. Silly me. Right. So then we have this little topper doofra thingy bobby, which, oh, it's just so cute. Right, so this I'm just going to put some straight on here and then add this to the top like so. Don't want to get too much glue in that centerpiece, and I'll show you why in a minute. So there's your bauble. Isn't that cool? So this is being the, like, the, what's the name? The little dangler. I believe this goes like that. I think. Or it might go this way through. And then this little thing will attach at the back here. And that way you've got your, well, how clever is that? And that's what's going to dangle. So I'll sort that out in a minute. Just want to see you me putting these together. Hopefully my camera will stick around for a minute. And then I will fast forward and put all this stuff onto the card. So with these two little things like that, you're just going to hook them in to each of these like that. and that will, you can obviously add glue to them as well, but that will help to just stabilize the whole thing, because obviously if you go to pick it up it might fall out. So I'll get those pieces stuck in there, and to attach the little, this guy, I believe he can go into or sit on the middle thingy bob, and then the idea, I don't know if you're going to see that, but the idea is that it dangles then. So you attach him in that center one. So I'll get that done so that everybody's where they should be. I'm still not convinced that goes that way, but seems too delicate that way. And yeah, I'll be back, said Arnie. I'll be back, guys. So I've got my bauble in there, and I used some super strong tape at the back of the second one of these, and then once it was stuck, I then also added another piece of the same colour cardstock with some more of that strong tape over that to kind of sandwich it between there, so hopefully it won't come off. But you can use string as well, you don't have to use the little mechanism. And this does dangle, but I wanted to get on with the decoration, so this, I've just got an acrylic block there just so that it saves the string a bit, because it's kind of delicate, it's only cardstock. So here's the display. I've also glued these two in place. So I'm going to start by putting the poinsettias together. I have an idea of what I want to do, and I'm just going to offset these like so. Ooh. Could probably do this on the thing. So I'm not even going to add too much adhesive, I'm just going to start sticking like so. I need so 2 of those, 4 of these holly leaves, and I'm just going to stick them in behind like so. And something like that. And then I'm going to take one of these and sort of wedge it in there. Like that. And it is a little tricky because you've got like space between each layer, so it's a little trickier to get things stuck, but it will work. Just trying to get my leaves looking a little better. Let's see how can I do that? Right. Then same thing on this side, just until those are stuck down a bit. Just going to put some adhesive on the back here. Oops. Sort of like that. And again, a little sprig. And because you've got wet adhesive, it will move around. They'll move around a bit, which is a bit of a thing, but it should still be okay. Something's not right here. Oh, it's because that's stuck to that. It's just redo that. Just put a bit more adhesive on there. That should work better. Once it's completely dry, you can always pick the petals up a bit and the leaves. Right, so the other thing I want stuck in here is this little guy. Like that. Like again, you can always pick the edges up when you're finished, you know, when it's completely dry. Right, so now we've got the fun task of sticking those teeny tiny little balls on these things here, over here, over here. So we'll start on these. And I will use one of these things that I can never remember the name of. And just pick these guys up. Pop them on. And because it's Spellbinders, even the berries have that little like shine mark cut into it. Clever. So clever. So let's do this one. Drops of glue. Right. And then of course in the middle here we want the 3 silver ones. So I'm just going to pop them in like so. And then just hope that they actually stick. So I will finish the top corner. I'll do exactly the same thing for the top corner, or I might just carry on because my video is behaving. I've here stacked all the blue layer, and can you see how thick it becomes? It's like a chipboard piece. And then I've got my Christmas on top. This was very delicate but very easy to put on there. And now I don't need to use any foam adhesive because I've got layers of cardstock. So this is just going to simply sit here, which I didn't think about. I mean, I did think about. I'm just going to have it off. What's it talking on? Come now. Right. so it will dry clear and I can get rid of that later. And then it'll just be a nice word on this display thing, because I will use this as a proper Christmas display. So, and yes, my Christmas decorations are up. I know, don't all cry at once. So I think for this top one I'm going to start with these. I'll just get an idea of where that's going to be, and I'll start with these guys. I'm just going to turn this, guys, so that I can kind of work with it better. In fact, I'm just going to turn it upside down. Just helps me with placement. And I want one there. And then these go the same way. Yeah. That's where that will go there. Let's get this guy on. And it's one of those things, about the time you've done one side, you become an expert on the other side, so yeah. Just get these on. And then on this side, more holly. And yes, this is a little easier if it wasn't like a hollow surface, because there's obviously nothing underneath here. If this was like on a card, because you can easily make this into a card instead of the display, then it would be a lot easier to do all this. So, get that greenery on. Oh. Just check. Should be okay. This little guy. Just needs to go in here. And then we can put these on. I'm just going to use my tweezers there for a second, just to try and get it to hold its form. And then I've just got the baubles. On both sides. Just a tiny dot glue, just so that it's not, you don't want too much, otherwise it'll ooze. hopefully this will be okay. Then we'll do the final bits here. Hopefully I'll beat my camera. It's like a race against time. There you go. It's a bit better. So, there you have it, guys. Isn't that so pretty? I just think this is great. Once it dries, I'll take it downstairs and put it in my lounge. And I'll also lift all the petals and the leaves and things so that it looks more dimensional. But obviously while it's wet with the adhesive, just let it dry. And I'm going to try and show you what this looks like while it dangles. Hopefully nothing else moves. Hopefully you can kind of see it moving there. And I gotta say, this is obviously a weird angle, so I can't show you like what it actually looks like when it dangles other than that angle. But I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope this was fun for you to learn how to put this thing together. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me. I know this is a very long video today, but I hope you stay to the end, and I will see you in the next one. I've just realised something. It doesn't matter, it's too late now. I stuck my bauble on the wrong way around. These are meant to go the other way. Yeah, never mind. They're supposed to kind of go this way. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. So I will see you in the next one, guys. Take care, and bye for now.